Hello there and welcome back to the channel. Thank you for showing me some love on the last video. It makes me very happy to see that you're happy I'm back. So thank you very much. Today we are breaking down another track I made, but what's special about today is that I have been sent 2 sample packs from the guys over at Lofi Sounds, and I've used the drums from that pack to make the drums in the track, just to show off what they can do. Lofi Sounds consists of 2 guys called Pepper and Nick. They are both lo-fi producers, so they know what kind of sounds we want, so they strive to make some really good quality sounding sample packs while keeping it at an affordable cost. So I would recommend definitely checking out the guys over at Lofi Sound if you like some of the sounds in this video. The packs I've been sent has specifically been created to make some sleepy lo-fi, which I make a lot of as well, but they also have some packs that are designed toward jazzy lo-fi and jazz kind of sound. So definitely go check them out. I have their website linked in the description. And yeah, thank you so much to Pepper and Nick for sending over the packs. It has been super fun to use them in this track. So let's jump into Ableton, take a look at the drums in particular and also the other stuff I have going on. Let's go. So yeah, here we are in the project. I've been sent 2 packs from Lofi Sounds. One of them is, I think, the newest pack and is full of Foley loops in all kinds of different BPMs. Some really great texture stuff. They have a bunch of Foley loops, 100 Foley loops. So there should be enough for quite a while. And they all sound different in their own way. And different BPMs. So you have something for every track you're working on. I've ended up using 2 of the Foley loops, but we'll get back to that when we look at the track. So yeah, really cool Foley loops in this pack. I use a lot of Foley when I make my tracks, and I like it when it has a BPM set to the Foley, so it's not just random stuff going on, which is nice in some instances, but if I really want to get a nice drum groove going, I needed to have some kind of rhythmic structure to it, and that's where these guys come in and work perfectly in tracks like that. The other pack they sent is the Mellow Night Lo-Fi drum kit, which is made for sleepy lo-fi. I'm sure you can use it for other stuff as well, but I've used it for some kind of sleepy vibe. And we have the typical stuff we always have in drum packs, a bunch of different hi-hats, all unique in their own way, so you always have something different and unique for your track. And we of course have some kicks, again all kinds of different sounds. Then we have some perks, of course, again bunch of cool stuff, shakers, different kinds again, and then of course some snares. The most important things for me when I buy a sample pack, it needs to have some good snares and some good kicks. Hi-hats you can always find somewhere, but a good kick and a good snare is not so easy to combine. And I think this pack has it. I hear some really cool nice snares. I've used 2 of the snares in this track, but I'm sure I can use the rest of them in some other tracks. So I'm very happy to get this pack. We also have some loops, some full drum loops that sound great, and then we have some different top loops. If you're too lazy, like me sometimes, to make a whole percussion loop and hi-hat loop, you can just drag and drop this, which I do quite a lot when I make my stuff. So yeah, that's what's in the pack. Let's take a listen to the track I have made using the drum sounds from this pack. So yeah, I think it's kind of cool. It's actually quite different to what I usually make. It has a different vibe to it, but still sounds like me, I think. First, in the track we have an intro, where we just have some rain ambience. This is from a Mondo Loop sample pack, called Chill Lo-Fi Drums, I think. But you can find rain anywhere in any sample pack these days. So I have some rain, and then I have some piano chords, which plays what's that? That's a D major 7 to A major 7, and then again D major 7 to A major 7, and then D major 7 to A major 7, and then we go to a C minor 7, just a C minor to an A major again. So yeah, that's the chord progression. The piano I'm using is the Imagiro Piano 2, which I use quite a lot. Then on the piano I have the tape Mellify, which you've seen me use quite a lot. On the Rhodes Warmer preset, which you also see me use quite a lot. Turn down the noise, the wear, the mechanics, because that gets quite intense. And then I've turned down the flutter and the wow a little bit. Then I have a Valhalla Vintage Verb on the Cathedral setting. Then I've put an EQ at the end, taking out everything below 2, 3, 4K. Then when the drums drop and everything else, we have a pad playing the same chords. The way I made this pad was with the wavetable from Ableton. This is just a sine wave, and then I've made the attack on the amp envelope 50 milliseconds, the decay 600 milliseconds, the sustain minus 6 dB, and then the release 50 milliseconds. And then the cool pitch thing it does, the wow. On the envelope 2, I've made the ADSR look like this, and then I've mapped it into matrix to the pitch, just turned it all the way up, and that's how you get that cool pitchy thing at the start of the chord. Then I've turned on the unison in noise mode. Sounds like this at first. You can hear the noise in the background. Gets a little bit too intense, so I just turned it down a little bit. But I like the kind of noisy, viney, crackly sound it gives, since we're making lo-fi. And with the piano chord, sounds like this. Just makes it a little more interesting when the drop hits. Then I have a lead coming. Sounds like this, which is also a siney kind of thing. This is from Diva. It's a preset called Divinity. Just playing some simple lead stuff. Played on my MIDI piano. Then I've duplicated that track and harmonized the lead with another sound. Same sound, but making it harmonize with the lead, which I think sounds really cool. On both of these, I have a Valhalla Vintage Verb doing some reverby stuff. Then I also have a lead guitar, sounds like this. Playing the same thing, but filling out the spaces in between. Very groovy stuff. And I actually really like the tone I got on this. I have an EQ taking out the low end at the start, then an amp from Ableton on the clean mode, 15% dry wet. And then I have a CLA 3A doing quite a bit of compression, around -7, -10 dB. And then again I have the tape Mellify on the Rhodes Warmer just to give it some stereo width and some flutter and wow. Again I've turned down the noise, the wear and the mechanics, and turned up the drive a little bit just to give it a bit of distortion. Then I've used an echo preset on Ableton called A Bit Tipsy, which gives it some delay. This is without, but it's giving the delay a bit of wobble and lo-fi goodness. And then at the end I of course have a Valhalla Vintage Verb. And then also on the guitar I've doubled that chain, and then I've made some harmonies in the left ear. It sounds like this. Cool stuff. And also the right ear. I don't usually do stuff like this, but I actually really like it. It's kind of like, if any of you know Cory Wong and Wolfpack, does a lot of guitar stuff like that. Like rhythmically groovy stuff, and then harmonizes it with a bunch of layers. So I know it's not Cory Wong music this, but I kind of took a little bit of inspiration from him. Then I have a bass, just playing the root notes. Again, I made this in wavetable with a square wave, and that's just filtered out a bunch of the high end with a really steep cutoff. And then I've turned on the unison just to make it a little wider. This is without, all the way in the middle, which is cool, but just spreading it out a little bit. And then I've made sure that everything below 120 Hz is mono with the utility plugin. And then we come to the cool stuff, the drums. They sound, all of them, like this. Very cool stuff. I've used the kick called Harmonious Kick, which sounds like this on its own. I've done absolutely nothing to it. That just tells you how good the samples are. And then we have a snare. Almost done nothing to it as well. Only EQ'd a little bit of the high and the low end out. I could have not done it and it would have sounded great. This is without it. And then with it. It just makes it a little bit more mellow, which is what I like in a snare. Then I have another snare, just at the end of every 2 bars, right before the final snare. Then we have the shaker at the start of every 2 bars, just playing 2 eighth notes, and then I have a delay on it, a triplet delay, and dotted eighth note delay, ping pong from the right to the left. Then I found these Tommy kind of percussion sound. I've put at the end of every 4 bars. I've EQ'd it like this. I've given it quite a bit of boost at 200 Hz just to boost the harmonics of the sound. And then taking out some of the low end and some of the high end. Then we have a hi-hat. Just playing some 8 notes. At the end of the hi-hat is pancake. I pressed the randomized waveform on it and then it just made this waveform panning a little bit left and a little bit right. Just to make it a little more interesting than just being in the middle. Then I have 2 Foley loops. And what I did here was I found a loop I thought was very cool. And then I thought I kind of want to make it a little bit more wide, but instead of duplicating it and panning one right and panning one left, I found one in the pack that was quite similar, but not the same. And then I've panned one of them to the right and one of them to the left, which is what gives this really cool groovy sound and wide sound. Then I have one of the top loops, just to give it a bit more extra groove. So yeah, that's all the drums. On the drum bus I have an SSL comp, as I usually have, just doing some gluing. And then I have a sketch cassette, again just to glue it a bit together and give it some saturation. And then I have another saturator just to crisp up the drums a little bit. In the effects I have some lasers. And then I have a cymbal, very simple stuff. So yeah, that's the track I've made with the drums. Thank you again to Lofi Sound for sending over the packs. I've really enjoyed using them and I think I made a pretty cool track with them. If you want to check out the sounds I've used in this video, check out the link in the description. They have a bunch of other sounds as well on the pack, not just the ones I've used, so definitely go check them out. They are very cheap and very good quality. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you did. And yeah, as always, remember, someday things will get better. See you guys.